my priorities. Because when I'm elected by you great people out there, it's your ideas, what your priorities are. What I need to be doing is coming out to groups like this and listening to what your ideas are, what your priorities are, not mine. That is the whole purpose of this board, is to represent the people and listen to what they have to say. And that's my top priority, is to bring the confidence back to the public, that somebody will stand up there and listen to what you have to say and what's important to you and what's important to our kids.
Well, I think absolute #1 priority, no one mentioned children. They're #1. That's why we're here. Teachers. And then on down on that priority, I would list, of course, the budget. We've got to solve that. Let me clarify just one more time on the half%. That would only be for 5 years, then it would go away. It had to be a referendum, and it would go away. And that would only be to pay off the debt. And of course, as we look down at the other priorities, don't forget back to basics. I have students that come into class, we set them in front of a computer, they can't read. So what do? They play games on those computers. Back to basics. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. And of course, how about cursive? Student will come in, and I'll say, sign your name. Oh, you mean those? Yeah, I mean those. We don't teach cursive anymore. Can you imagine that? The proudest day of my life is when I went home and signed my name for my mother. Thank you.
Well, we're getting a little long in the tooth this evening. I got one more question to ask Pastor Rick? Okay, I got one more question to ask, and then Pastor Jim is going to do a quick lightning round where only yes and no responses will be provided. And then your response here, you get to put your paddle up, and you got 10 seconds to respond to each. Okay? And we're going to start with Mr. Dunbar first. And it's a real simple question.
Hold that thought. Get ready.
One moment.
We're about to distribute the straw poll ballots. And I want you to have those before they finish up, because we all love to have great questions, but now we have to make a great decision. And I want to encourage you to participate in that. Our guys will hand these out to you. Make sure you notice that there are 2 districts. All the candidates are listed. You do not have to be present to win. Famous last words and all these things. But that's really true. You can vote for any candidate that's here. That's why we give it to you. There are some optional things to fill out. If you can help us out with that, we'd appreciate that. But they'll be passing this out, and then we'll collect them after we're finished.
On the lightning round, if you're using any off the sheet, could you give us the number before you announce it so we can mark your answer down? Thank you.
So this is going to be the last question on that sheet. I don't have that. I had to put it in 36 fonts so I can read it. So the question is, you know, let me set it up real quick. We hear a lot about career politicians. And recently in Lee County, our county commissioners voted in term limits. Would you be supportive, and would you commit personally to serving no more than a cumulative of 8 years in office, which is essentially 2 consecutive postings for those with 4, and then make up the difference with the other, because we have people that are running for 4-year term and people are running for 2-year terms, right? So, but for a cumulative of 8 years in office and no more. All right, Mr. Dunbar, quickly, 10 seconds. Why would you say that? Well, I'm sorry.
That's an easy one for me. I don't even buy green apples at my age, so the answer is evident. Just take a look at me. But during those years that I am on that board, I will serve them and serve you well.
Thanks. Thanks. 10 seconds.
I believe in term limits, because if you cannot get done in 8 years what you need to, you will never get done. And I also believe that you need to move aside and let other people come in with other ideas. Thank you.
I voted yes, I support it. 2 words, nepotism and cronyism.
Absolutely. I will commit to that and hope we can get it done, because it's actually all of you and the team that needs to continue. And I will continue on the team from the audience after leaving after 8 years.
I believe term limits are set by the electorate, but I would not run for more than 3 terms.
You know, in my experience, I've been able to turn things around, if not in 7 months, in 2 years, right? So for me, 2 years is a long time for me to take a position, completely transform it, and move forward. If I can't, I would support 1 term, 1 term.
With my experience with Cape Coral City Council, the limit should be 3, and I do support the county commissioners on that. But I would not serve more than 3.
And to our lightning round.
Okay, question number 5. As an elected official, will you assert your constitutional authority to overrule any state or federal mandates you believe are detrimental to children? Number 9. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll give you a second there to hold them up. All right, number 9. Do you support school choice initiatives such as voucher programs?
Initiatives is plural, voucher program is 1. I can't answer the question.
These are from the Southwest Florida Citizens Alliance, the pre-printed yes and no questions. Number 21. Do you support requiring all Lee County students to recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Question number 2. Will you support the school board hiring an internal auditor? All right, thank you. Number 20. Do you support eliminating the Federal Department of Education?
With that, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Pastor Jim and myself and your moderators, we extend our thanks and gratitude for you coming out on a weeknight and on your dime and on your time. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow each of the candidates 60 seconds, and not a second more, for the closing statements. And Ms. McDonald, since you have the mic, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Are we all set?
Clock's ticking.
Well, again, thank you for coming out. As a lightning round, I will be here until the last one leaves. Again, I'm a parent, I'm a husband. I've been with you for 20 years. I'm an administrator. In my background, I am a commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps. Also, I was an enlisted man in the United States Marine Corps. I've also served as a DJ. I work in the school systems. I'm a basketball referee. I go to church at Grace United. What I'm saying is I'm part of the community. All right? So I look forward to and I ask, and I'm humbly asking to earn your support, because I will be a collaborator. And as you see up here, I'm always, if nothing else, I'm always going to tell you the truth. And as my students told me, they made this one up, I need you to remember this: vote for me, Triple D, for School Board District 7 of Lee County. Thank you.
And again, thank you for this evening, for organizing this event, and to such an incredible group of candidates as well. I've been blessed to have a great education, an Ivy League education, a great career around the world, And it's always been because my parents instilled a love and passion for education. I don't see the same opportunities for students as I was able to experience myself. I want to be able to bring back a world-class experience for our students, and as importantly, not just 74% of the students, but 100% of the students. There are some students that need different types of programs and different types of initiatives, and I hope to raise the bar for everyone.
Our job is to make sure that our students get the best possible education they can in a very fiscally responsible way. Our job is policy, it's budget, it's managing the superintendent. We need people on the board who can listen, who know how to work as a team, who are experienced working in an environment where your job is to manage the CEO. I listen, I'm a critical thinker, I'm a problem solver, I'm a change agent, I'm a team player. I think I have served the board well, and I think I have served this community well in my 4 years of service on the board, and I hope you will support me as I seek election to Lee County School Board District 7. Thank you.
Well, the American dream is based on education. And I had the blessings of achieving all that I could ever imagine, and then some. I had some companies I started, I had 1,500 employees. I learned to fly an airplane and owned my own airplane. I was appointed by GHW, that's George Bush Sr., to go to Europe prior to the European Union, to meet with leaders all over the European continent, to talk about the EU and see what implications there were for the United States. I wanted to pass this along. When I look at my children and my grandchildren, I look into their eyes, is this American dream still alive? And why or why not? We have to take our heads out of the sand and stop being ostriches and start becoming the American eagle. That is the bird of the United States. And I'm saying that you all are part of that team. When she talks about team, I mean team out here. Thank you so much, and please help us stop Common Core.
Obviously, there's some issues where many of you don't agree with my views. But if you've seen anything, and if you've really listened to me tonight, you know that what you see is what you get. I don't speak empty rhetoric. I let you know how I stand. Some of the things that I didn't get to were the absolute importance that I put on early childhood education, because to get that graduation rate up, we can't wait until those children are in middle school. We must develop early childhood education. We must be aware of the realities that our Lee County, of the epidemic of childhood poverty in this county. We must work in tandem with local government, the city councils, and the county commission to make Lee County the best that it can be.
First, I'd like to thank Pastor Rick and the Southwest Florida Citizens Action Committee for having us, and our moderators. You asked some tough questions, very challenging at times. So thank you for taking your time away and helping us out. Well, as most of you know by now, my name's Don Armstrong. And I want to keep repeating that. Don Armstrong, Don Armstrong, Don. Because I want to make sure you guys go vote for me. When you go in there, you check off Don Armstrong. I have 4 years experience on the board. They told me before I couldn't do it. I did it. But I represented the people. And I understand my job and my priorities. And my priorities are our kids and making sure they have the best opportunities to succeed in life. So when you go into the voting booth, please vote Don Armstrong. Support your kids, support me, support this community. Thank you.
I attached a little card like this to each bag of popcorn. I wish you'd peel it off. And I want to sound intelligent, but I'd like to paraphrase some things here. The most important thing that you can give your child is an education. I'm proof of that. My mother said to me, Richard, the only way out of poverty, we were in deep depression, she said, the only way out of this is a high school education. Today, we kind of smile at that. And it did that. I went immediately into service, served my beloved country, and for the last 57 years, I have served society as a teacher. My personal goal now is to serve you on the school board. This I've committed to you. So many people say to me, I can't get a hold of anyone. I commit this. My office will be open 1 day a week. 1 day a week, you can walk into my office, don't call me, walk in, tell me what the problem is. I won't be able to solve them, but I will find somebody that can solve them. Thank you.
Real briefly, before I turn it back over to Pastor Rick, on Monday we have a very significant day in the United States. It's called Memorial Day. Right? I want everybody to recognize what that's about. It's about those that fell for our freedom. They fell for what America stands for. And I also want to thank the two veterans that are on the panel up here, Mr. Dunbar and Mr. Donald, for your service. And with that being said, Pastor Rick, it's all yours.
Well, thank you, Michael, and I think we owe the moderators a special appreciation. They kept all of this stuff going. And along with that remembrance of Memorial Day, I want to thank you because you're obviously engaged in this, and we need more people to be engaged all across this community. So thank you for being here. It was pretty obvious, and some of them mentioned it, that there's disagreement among the candidates. It's pretty obvious that there was disagreement among all of us out here. I mean, I found myself in the back thinking, I'd like to follow up with that one too. The good news is, agreement or disagreement aside, they'll be glad to answer all of your questions. They'll hang around. We've always been so appreciative of that. And although we may never agree on everything, I want to thank the candidates for putting themselves out there. I've been around this process a little bit, I've been around this process a little bit, never as a candidate, thankfully. But I know what it takes to be a candidate. Personally, it takes a lot out of them. And I think we need to express our appreciation for people who are willing to do that. Without people who put themselves out there, we couldn't have people to elect. And we need to express that appreciation. If nothing else, maybe you'll say thank you to some of them as they come by. Now, you have in your hand the critical decision, the straw poll ballot. And if you want to mark that ballot, if you haven't already, and mark it, pass it to one end of the aisle or the other, we'll pick that up and we will tabulate them. You already done it? Oh, well.
Do we have results?
No, we don't have results yet. We got a few more up here. Okay, we'll get results and have them shortly. So it might be fair for me to let the candidates go back out into the lobby so that people can find you before we all tackle you. As soon as we get the results, we'll be glad to share them with you, but we will share